Everyone online is screaming about how high ticket sales will change your life. They'll show you screenshots, commission checks, freedom, traveling, Lambos, all of those things. And don't get me wrong, that's definitely possible with high ticket sales, but no one talks about the dark side. And if you're thinking about getting into the industry or if you're already in it, you need to know both sides to the coin because yes, you can make 10, 20, 30, 50, even up to 100K a month in straight commissions with high ticket sales, but there's a lot of things that are kept hidden behind closed doors. And the reason I know this is I went from 0 to 40K a month in under a year, and I'm still in this industry to this day, and I've gone on to help dozens of students reach the same income levels as me, making 5, 10, up to 40K a month in straight commissions. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what really goes on behind the scenes of high ticket sales, the part no one tells you, and how to navigate it without burning yourself out, losing yourself, or falling for the traps. Now, the first thing you have to understand is 1 month, you're on top of the world, and the next, your offer shuts down overnight. High ticket sales is not a normal job. There's no salary, there's no safety net, there's no guaranteed consistency, and your income depends completely on your offer, your skill set, and your leads. And sometimes none of these things are even in your control. Offers pivot, teams restructure, owners disappear, and one day that 6-figure offer you were closing for can suddenly go dark. And the reason I say that is because that was me. When I was at 10K a month, I was cruising. I was on top of the world. I was traveling around Asia. I was giving money to my family. I was buying nice clothes. I was eating out every single night. Honestly, my life was very good at 10K a month, and I got there really, really quickly in 6 months. And pretty much everything came crashing down from 10K a month to absolutely zero in a 2-week period when my offer I was closing for, the ads shut down. And initially, I was definitely shocked, right? And I honestly started thinking of all these negative thoughts in my mind. However, what I realized was that was the best thing that ever happened to me because that forced me to go and find another role, which was way better and got me to 40K a month within a month and a half, which I consistently did since then. So yeah, what I realized was a lot of people don't talk about the negatives. They don't talk about their losses in high ticket sales, but it doesn't mean the losses are a bad thing. It just means you need to embrace them. So I'm telling you this now, if you're jumping into high ticket sales or you're already in the industry, the best takeaway here is don't get addicted to the highs. You're going to have lows. You're going to have setbacks. So expect them and embrace them and use them as motivation to go even further in life. And at the end of the day, it's just part of business. And the highs that you have will always, on average, be better than the lows that you have. Sweet. And while the money can be exciting, a lot of people don't realize another dark truth. And that's the loneliness that comes with it. It's not talked about, especially in the online space where it's surrounded by a lot of young guys with a lot of ego. A lot of people don't want to open up about this. And what you'll notice is you'll make more money than your friends in high ticket sales. You have more freedom than your friends. You'll have more location freedom than your friends. But you will also feel more misunderstood than ever. And when you start making money online, especially through an avenue like remote sales, you will lose a lot of common ground with people around you. You just can't relate to people anymore. You can't relate to society anymore. And you're working alone. You're on calls all day. You're stuck in your room. And your wins don't make sense to people that aren't in your industry. And when you talk about your struggles, most people just say, oh, but you're making great money. You're making 30K a month. You're making 40K a month, right? And it's isolating, especially if you don't build a strong environment of other like-minded closers and entrepreneurs around you. And a good analogy to explain this, and I've said this before, but I really want to drive the point home because I think it's just a really good way to think about it. It's like climbing a mountain. The higher you go, at the bottom, there's going to be a big crowd of people that are cheering, taking selfies, wanting to getting excited about climbing this huge mountain in front of them. But the higher you go, the higher you climb, what you realize, the air gets thinner, the oxygen gets thinner, it gets harder to push forward. And when you look left and right, there's not a lot of people around you either, right? There's fewer people around you and fewer voices that actually understand your climb. But that's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it fun because you can make your way to the top and you'll be the only one there. Honestly, I embrace those things. So as much as this is a dark truth, the reason I'm telling you this is people won't tell you that you'll feel lonely, and most high-ticket sales reps come in expecting to feel all happy and social, but the reality is that won't happen. And I'm telling you this, the cold hard truth, because I've gone through this myself. So now that you know this, just expect there to be loneliness, and this is how you handle it, is just surround yourself with like-minded people that are on the same path as you, other entrepreneurs, other closers, other high-ticket sales reps. But loneliness isn't the only dark part. And it's honestly sad to see, but there's also deception because not every high ticket opportunity that you come across is what it seems. If the offer that you're looking at sounds too good to be true and they pay you for recruitment or some MLM or some pyramid scheme, it's not sales, it's a trap. I'll say that again. If it's a pyramid scheme or an MLM or you're reselling something, it is not high ticket sales. And there's a very dark side to this industry where high ticket sales is used as a cover for these recruitment based schemes. And these offers look flashy with nice branding, big commissions, but instead they're just selling you a dream, right? They're selling you the idea of selling and you're convincing other people to buy into the system. And some of you might have heard of this, but it's honestly shocking that I see this in the industry and it puts a bad name on people that are genuinely doing high ticket sales. You have to understand high ticket sales is selling and closing or setting for another company which you have no affiliation for, right? You're not marketing for them. You're not personal branding for them. You're just a sales rep. So if you see any of these opportunities online where they're saying they give you 50% commission, 60% commission, or you have to pay money to get in, or any of these like weird things out there, just again, I'm telling you, it's most likely a scam, okay? And I've had reps reach out to me and other friends in my industry reach out to me saying, bro, I thought I was in a legit sales role. Turns out I was just pushing a course that taught other people how to sell the same course. That's not sales. That's literally circular manipulation, right? So don't fall into those traps and please do your research and go invest into someone that you actually trust. So yeah, before joining any offer, always ask, what are you actually selling? Who does it help? And would you buy it yourself? If those answers don't feel right, walk away because no commission is worth you losing your reputation. Sweet. And even when you are on a really solid opportunity and you're making money, you've still got to be ready for one harsh truth, and that's everything can change overnight. If one offer dies and kills your income, you never had control to begin with. It's one of the harshest lessons with high ticket sales. Offers end, owners pivot, businesses fail, the game evolves. And the worst thing you can do is attach your identity and your entire financial stability to a single opportunity that you're selling. And the best high ticket sales reps that I know, they treat every offer as if it's temporary and not permanent. And they focus on building transferable skills like closing frameworks, audience, reputation, and network to do that in other areas of life. For example, I've gone through multiple offers in my life with high ticket sales, probably like 5 to 6 closing opportunities and, 2 setting opportunities and 1 cold calling offer that I've been on. And what I found was there were offers where I had amazing months, but I never stayed attached to one offer, right? That doesn't mean I don't give it 110%. Of course I do. But in the back of my mind, I always know that eventually this offer is not going to last and I'm going to have to find a new one. And a good analogy to explain this is imagine people who play professional sports, right? And being a professional athlete. And you only train for one team. You're like a basketball player and you only train with one team, one trainer, one style of play. If that team folds, you're out of the league because you're not flexible. You're not able to adapt. But if you train yourself for the sport itself, you can play basketball with anyone. You can play anywhere, anytime with anyone. In high ticket sales, your sport is communication and influence. If you master how to sell, you'll always eat. You'll always make money. You'll never be broke. So as much as this is a dark truth that the industry is kind of volatile and you have to be adaptable, it's also the best skill set you can learn because being adaptable is the #1 skill that you need to launch any business that you want down the line. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation, but most people don't tell you these things, which is why beginners go in and just get an unexpected shock when it happens. But let's wrap this up with the most important truth about the dark side of high ticket sales, and not just high ticket sales, but business in general. I'm just gonna give you a bonus tip because I just thought of it as we were filming this. And that's uncertainty. If you can't handle uncertainty, you'll never be able to handle success. And that's the thing that people don't understand about business. Business is always going to be uncertain. It's not going to magically get to a point where 3 to 5 years down the line, you're settled and you're comfortable. Sure, you might get to a point where you have millions of dollars in the bank, but you still feel uncertain because there'll still be cash flow issues. There'll still be ups and downs. Like your journey will never end. And business is always a self-development journey. And how beginners fail is they come in with this mentality of, I'm going to aim for security. I'm going to aim for certainty. But the reality is, dude, you're not going to get that feeling. That feeling never happens, right? I'll tell you now. No matter what income level you hit, you will never feel secure. If you want to feel certainty, if you want to feel secure with your income and your job and that side of things, go work a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is probably the most secure things you can ever have. And because it's so secure, because there's so much certainty, that's why you get paid less, right? Not just from a money standpoint, but from trading your time for money, working under a boss, not learning real high income skills. These are all the trade-offs that you make for that certainty. So my takeaway here is, if you want the bigger things in life, you want to be number one, you want to travel the world, you want to give back to your family, you want to get to a point where you have ultimate freedom, you're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to embrace this uncertainty, right? And a good analogy to explain this is, I'm just going to use basketball again, is the best basketball players in the world, they sign like 1-year contracts instead of 10-year contracts because they know their value, and if they play their cards right, they can make a lot of money in the industry, and they don't care about getting injured, they don't care about all these things because they're willing to take risks. They make a bet on themselves. And at the end of the day, that's not just what's needed with high ticket sales, that's what's needed with entrepreneurship and business as a whole. So yeah, that's my take on the dark truth of high ticket sales that most people don't talk about. And at the end of the day, high ticket sales in Sweet. So that's my take on the dark truths of high ticket sales that honestly most people don't talk about. But again, you have to understand, high ticket sales is one of the best vehicles for freedom and income, but only if you understand the dark side first and go into it knowing these things. It's volatile, it's lonely, it can be manipulative if you're not careful. But if you play it the right way, if you have the right people, if you have the right mentors, and if you build real skill, you'll not only survive the dark side, but you'll actually thrive in it. And I'm living proof of this. I went from 0 to 40K a month. All the students in DSA, the community that I run, are examples of this, that have hit 5, 10, 30, 40K months. And for proof of this, literally go to my YouTube channel and go click on playlists and go look through the case studies that I have, right? Of all the students hitting 5, 10, 20, 30, 40K months. Go watch all of them. But yeah, hopefully that gave you some new insight on things that you haven't heard about high ticket sales. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.